Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and this is Homeworld Remastered episode 2. Now where we left off last time, we'd just arrived here in the Kharak system and we were expecting to meet up with a support ship of some type, but when we arrived that ship wasn't here and it was assumed that we'd made a misjump. However, fleet operations have detected a signal nearby, which may well be the ship we're due to meet, and that's over here. And our orders are to go and build a probe and send it over there to check it out. But before I do that, I want to see what resources are nearby, because I've only got 9 resources yet left, and I don't want to be ambushed here or get a surprise attack and have no way to defend either myself or the mothership here. So I've got two attack groups.
Group 1 reporting.
The first group is well, we've got 7 ships here. These are 7 scout ships. They're fast, but they're very weak and pretty useless for attacking. The ones I want to use to attack with are the interceptors here, and these are a little bit more heavy duty ships, but I've only got a few of them.
Group 2
What
reporting.
have we got here? We've got 7 of these as well. So really I want to build a few more interceptors, but let's see what resources research we got available. Corvette chassis, that would allow us to build the larger ships, which at the moment all I can build is a repair corvette, and I'd assume these allowed me to build some larger fighters. I've already researched the corvette drive, as you can see. Excuse me. So what we're going to do then is see how many resource units we got there. Quite a few.
Group 10.
Well, we can send
Resources locked in.
the resource collector over there to go and get that. So I'm not sending a probe over that way just yet, because I don't think it's tactically a good idea or a wise idea. I'm in unknown space and I don't think I can defend myself in an emergency. The mothership actually looks pretty good out here in this lighting, doesn't it? It's a little bit darker than where we were previously. We're not getting the rays, the lighting rays, the god rays shining around the ship out here. So where in the previous episode I was kind of mocking the little dust particles in space theory that a lot of people claim, where we shouldn't be getting god rays in space. Out here we're not getting god rays in space, so maybe there was some sort of atmospheric or particles in the atmosphere back there. What I do want to know is, are we closer to this nebula over here? It does look a little bit larger. It does look rather nice, doesn't it?
Group 10 copies.
It's taking its time to fill up.
Confirmed.
So while we're here, we can have a look at a few of the other menus, I guess. We got a queue, and this is an
Local
overview
resources exhausted, please.
of our
Moving on.
ship. So it's not going to take long to gather all these resources, is it? And look how that asteroid actually looks depleted. It changed in appearance after I'd mined it all out. So it's probably not going to take too long to gather all that up, is it? Let's see what happens to this one. That's an interesting effect, isn't it? Look how it's slowly changing as it drains itself of all the minerals and the ore. Funny really how unlikely it is that someone's going to sit here and look at all these details here. It just goes to show how much thought and consideration, and indeed how much work goes into making these games. It looks like the resource collector is now full, and indeed it is. It's taking that back to the mothership. Hopefully it's enough for us to start building. And anyway, even if I did want to carry on immediately, I haven't got enough to build the probe that's been requested anyway. I need 50 and I've only got 9, so I would have had to wait for this, even if I didn't want to build up
Group 10 reporting.
my fleet. But as I was looking at, we've got a list over here which is population, tells us what we've got in our fleet. And what's this? Toggle events. That doesn't seem to be anything in particular at the moment.
Group 10.
Group 10, yes. It's smoking well. And he's not damaged, so I gather that's all the dust coming off of whatever it is he's collected out there.
Roger.
They're all pretty large ships in this game. I'm quite interested to know
Confirmed.
the scale of it. Oh, I wondered where that went. So a few of these actually fit on the back of the ship, or at least when they deposit the ore in there. So I guess these other slots are for other ships as well. Like I say, it's been nearly 16 years since I played the game previously, so I really can't remember anything at all. So we've now got 500 units. That would be enough to build the Corvette chassis. Should I build that? Decisions, eh? What's going on here? Oh, I can't research anything else. I thought I was on the build menu for a second there, even though I was talking about researching. A bit dopey sometimes. Let's have a look. Dopey, for those who might be a bit shocked at the usage there, is the British or English term for being a bit stupid. I'm not sure what Americans may think of the term. It's nothing to do with drugs in any case. So I don't want another resource collector, I don't want another resource ship, I do want a probe, and I certainly want a few more interceptors. So what have we got? We've got 7 interceptors at the moment, haven't we? Let's go to 10. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah, so group 2 is the interceptors. Let's have another 3 interceptors in. 1, 2, 3 interceptors. And we'll build the probe just in case we run out of that. Let's have a look at that coming out. And we might as well start research on the Corvette's chassis then.
Probe complete.
Well, at least it's very quick at building here. I've been playing a few other RTS games lately. You've probably seen 1 or 2 of my total planetary annihilation videos even, and unit construction on that is far slower than what it is here. Right, so if you want to add additional units into a group you've already got, that group doesn't actually need to be nearby. I can move them over there. Let's put them there. And say I want to add these ships here to that same group. Let's focus on them. I want to add them to my group 2. I would select group 2, hold down shift and drag and encircle those ships. I can then do the control and 2 shortcut key, and they get added to group 2.
Group 1.
That works the same for any of the other groups as well.
Group 2.
Red 5 standing by.
Group 2.
So where's my resource collector? Got a few more asteroids there to mine. Yeah, it's not taking too long actually, is he?
Insufficient resources.
Yeah, I know. More's on its way. More's on its way, don't worry. I'd like, if possible, to build a few of those heavy ships before we do anything else. Now, the big question is when I send the probe out there, do I send an escort with it or do I send it on its own? The fact that it's a probe, well, I probably should send it on its own, shouldn't I? Especially seeing as it's unknown what it's going to find out there. And certainly the game doesn't suggest or give any information that I should build up my fleet first anyway, but this is generally how I play RTS games anyway, so here we go. resource collectors docking again. So it looks like there's 2 slots here for resource collectors, so I probably could have 3 or 4 of them maybe, but only 2 can unload at any one time, unless there is a limitation on the amount of resource collections or indeed other ships I can have. So is our building's complete at the moment. The research should complete shortly as well. Now, will this be enough to allow me to build a corvette classed fighter? I hope so. Corvette, repair corvette. One of them will probably be handy to have, wouldn't it? Field repair corvette. Repairs ships and refits one-strike craft vessels. Strong versus none. So it's not strong, it's a weak ship. Weak versus corvettes, frigates and capital ships.
Research complete. New research available.
So we can have a light corvette here. So what is the light corvette? Strong against fighters, weak against frigates and capital ships. Well, you know what? I'm going to build a couple of light corvettes, I think. And look, they don't take long to build at all, do they? Let's get in position so we can see that thing coming out. I think a few of these are in order. Where are you, Mr. Corvette? And there you are.
Acknowledged.
And look at that, it's quite a nice looking ship, isn't it? Let's see what size it is in comparison to the other ships. Oh, the other ones are right over there.
Acknowledged.
Certainly seems to be larger though, doesn't it? So the corvettes
Roger.
can be group 3,
Group
can't
3 designated.
they? And the probe should probably be group
8 designated.
And where is my resource collector? You can't help hearing it, can you, every time they say standing by? Red 5 standing by. It's nearly done. So it looks like these carry around about 500 units per time, so that should be enough to build 2 more corvettes. I think once we got them, it'll be time to move onwards with the probe. At least I'm hoping so.
Strike group acknowledged.
Oh, what have I done? Pressed one of these keys. I think I touched one of the F keys, one of the function keys. Yeah, so I moved it into another formation. Not that he needs a formation because he's on his own. So back he goes. And look at the little fleet amassing here. Now, from what I remember, this actually does start to look very, very impressive and quite intimidating once you end up with rows upon rows of ships. I can't remember if there's an upper limit here. It looks like the limit, at least for the moment, is 70 fighters, 42 corvettes and so on. So resource collectors, 20 resource collectors. You know, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Corvettes 42, salvage corvettes 14. So it's a lot of ships to fit inside that mothership, like I said before. A bit like Doctor Who's TARDIS. Now I do remember that this section of the ship here actually folds out when you build the larger ships. That may be the capital class ships, and they're not mentioned here, the capital class ships, so probably the size of your fleet can increase as well. Although, you know what, I have a feeling that the capital ships don't redock once they're constructed, which probably explains why they come out of the side there. They're at least the size of the panel there, so there's no way for them to go back, and they probably jump on their own without the need for the mothership. So
assembly underway.
I'm going to build 2 more
Assembly underway.
light corvettes then. Yep. And this guy is heading back out to finish up over here. It doesn't look like we've got a whole lot more
Light corvette complete.
resources left anyway. We can take whatever's left back to the over to the next system, I suppose, assuming we survive that far. So group 3 copies, come on.
Light corvette complete.
Yep, there's another corvette. Now I'm thinking about building a repair corvette. My question is, do they automatically repair your fleet, or do I have to issue the commands for them to do that? It'd be quite nice if they can automatically do that.
Group 3 reinforced.
Okay, well, looks like we're good to go for now. We're back down to 9 resource units, which funnily enough is where we started, but I've closed all the menus. That's that blooming escape key again, which caused me problems last time, didn't it? I'm going to do a quick save here. Return to game. Right, so how do I pull out those menus I just closed? Maybe it's that. Insufficient resources. No, it's not that. HUD scale. No, I don't want that. Return to game. Oh well. They've gone, but not to worry. Oh, no, they come back when you select a unit. That's handy to know. Group 2, Group 3, Group 8 is the probe, and the probe has got to go right out here.
Probe away.
And I think we'll follow him. Hey, why not? Kind of interested to see what he gets up to. Believe it or not, this actually come out a fair ways before EVE Online. And back then, I remember I actually got into the beta for EVE Online, and it distinctly reminded me of each other, these two games, in terms of their visuals. Oh, what's going on here then? Something a bit creepy, some creepy sounds. Creepy sounds with creepy lighting. And it looks like this is the ship that we were meant to find. And it looks a little bit broken. I assume that's the ship we were meant to find anyway, unless that's another ship. Well, no doubt, either way, that's the signal we were hearing, I guess. Oh. Okay, I assume that these are enemies, and that looks like it might be a missile boat of some sort. Ooh, getting exciting. Oh, they're buddies, aren't they? You know, you've got all that space. Why fly through the rocks when you could have just flown wide around them? They're heading straight for me, aren't they? Right, we're going to need to defend the fleet, defend the mothership. We got control back? Yeah, we got control back.
Mothership is under attack.
What have we got? Fighters. Yeah, engage. 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 Right, so what I'm going to do as well is see if we can group 1, group 2, group 3. I don't think we can select. We can select them all. I'm going to put them as group 6, which is all units together, and we're going to turn them to aggressive. Now the reason I've done this is because it lets me target and concentrate all firepower on a single target. Quite tough, these buggers, aren't they?
Attack coordinates locked in.
More on the way. Where's my resource collector? Because I could do with some more resource units at the moment. Let's have this population thing up there, and we can see if we're losing ships. So down to 11 fighters. Are we? 2, 3, 1, group 2. Yeah. Definitely losing ships.
Attack vector laid in.
Now the question is, I've got some more resource units. Do I want some more corvettes? Or do I want some more fighters?
Group 3 standing by.
Well, the corvettes are standing up pretty well, aren't they?
Group 1.
I'm going to make one more corvette.
Mothership.
I'll make one more corvette and 2 fighters. Light corvette
Assembly underway.
and 2
Berths are clear.
interceptors. Let's go back to group 6.
Interceptor complete.
How many of these bad guys are left to see? We're looking at the combat overview here now. It's just pressing the space key to get up.
Hostile units destroyed.
Oh, well, that was relatively easy.
Mothership sustained minor hull damage. Repairs are underway.
I should have built a repair ship, shouldn't I, rather than the corvette and the
Carsalim has been destroyed. Heavy weapon damage is visible on the remaining fragment. A salvage corvette must be sent to retrieve the mission data recorder.
Okay. Well, I think that's as good a place as any to leave this episode. I'll be back with episode 3 to try and conclude this particular mission. As always, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.